Three, two, one. Hello, everyone. Today we are gathered here to do yet another debate, and the topic that we chose today is degree versus skills. And today I will be supporting having a degree is necessary, whereas Keman will be speaking in the favor of skills. So let us begin. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This is a great quote by Nelson Mandela, and I truly stand by it. There are various advantages of having a degree, which skills cannot really provide you. Having a degree can open many paths for you, which is not really possible if you just have the skills but not the degree. As many people say that a single sheet of paper cannot decide your future, but I don't really think this is actually true and more of a superficial statement. So let us discuss what are the benefits of having degree. First, having a degree means you are following a very structured curriculum and you know exactly what you are doing and not just for the sake of skills you just explore random thing which are not really relevant. But in a degree with a structured learning platform or a structured curriculum, you know exactly where you are standing. It can help you to evaluate your progress in a much efficient way. In a structured learning program like any degrees, they provide internships project which can use to check your real life skills and make you ready for the real world. My second point would be degrees opens many opportunities which is not really possible without it. Many of the job openings require a certain qualification, which is if you don't have them, you are not even applicable to showcase it. So what's the point if you just have the degree, but without the qualification, you are not even allowed to enter that door. To open that door, you need to have that degree. My third point will be and kind of very crucial point, that is certain skills or the certain things you cannot really learn by just self-learning, like a doctor, like a medical school, surgeon, lawyer, or civil services. This type of learnings cannot be really done by self. You need a very structured program, and by following that, you can do it in a much better way. My last point will be about in a degree program, usually it's offline and you get a good peer network. It improves your networking skills and it develops your collaborative skills, which is kind of very important in the corporate world. Yeah, that's my take. And I strongly believe that degree is more important than just having the skills. Over to you, Kemal.
Yes. If degree opens many doors, then skill is the one that keeps it open. Today, I'm standing before to support skills over degree, and I have some strong 5 points why I believe that. Firstly, I think degree will give you financial trap, and it does not really guarantee you employment. The loan trap or the loans or the even it can like struggle the entire family, the mental health and also the physical health of entire family along with you. Nextly, I would say if you have some skills or if and a good network, then you can also have a very potential to get into employment, but degree will not really guarantee that. Thirdly, I would say about some degrees are being outdated, as like they will change a little thing in the curriculum and call it modern. For example, we had a subject called as CN, computer networks, and they just added few more things and called it modern CN, but most of the stuff was outdated. My next point will be about the bookish knowledge which the degree promotes. Like we just survive for ITs to ITs and semester exam to semester exam. There's no proper learning, and you don't even realize how the 4 years got wasted. So this is another reason why I strongly feel that you should not. The major focus should be on the skill rather than the degree. And my last point will be that not all jobs require a degree. Like if there is dancing, singing, cooking. Like if you have a degree in dancing, if you have degree in singing, but you cannot dance or sing, then there is no use of that. So these are some strong points why I feel degree is skills are more important than degree. Skills with a degree without skills will sometimes not give you jobs. But skill without degree will give that potential. So yeah, that's it. Rebuttal phase.
Difficult.
Uh, yeah, rebuttal phase.
Okay, there are. I'll start. So there are many courses which provide you some certification. Not really necessary. I'm speaking of degree, but like to gather the skills if you follow any courses. But the problem with them is like you can just skim through the course and not have any knowledge at the end. You can. Some people just do it to get the certification and show it to their employers. And like how do we have the credibility in that? Like how do we make sure that the guy is actually having the skill? Whereas in case of a degree, then he has gone through the multiple exams and like structured learning curriculum, which is not really possible with just having the skills.
Um, One thing I would say is that there are some good certified courses, even like from Google, like Google machine learning course, or we could say some courses like NPTL, which is also backed by the Indian government. So such courses they conduct monthly or some exams, and that is a good way to have a very credible degree, credible certificate.
Yeah, but again, these exams could be easily gamed. You can easily manipulate it. Like you can just check the past papers and know what is the pattern. And most of the time, these exams are mostly MCQ based, and it could be easily guessed sometimes, and you're not really able to showcase your skills, right?
I think that is also true for degree learning, because in degree also, like when you get projects or when you get some homework, you just copy from somebody else, and even like most of the people study one or few days before the exam, and like they just answer.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, my question to you about is about the bookish knowledge which degree is promoting. Like if you are focusing on the skill, you know that what you want to get, but when you focus on degree, it is like you just want on for the sake of doing. What do you have to say in that?
It is partially correct that it is more of a theoretical knowledge, but it is also paired with uh, many ongoing workshops or any events you can always take part in, which are readily available if you are taking a structured course or any degree. And most of these subjects are usually paired up with practical exams, and you can show your skills in them where you cannot really have the bookish knowledge and just buy out stuff. Yeah, so basically my point is if you are having a structured degree, then usually they are paired with many workshops or many talks by the some experts in the particular field.
Do you have any questions, Ayush?
uh, yes, so what about the fields like doctors, surgeons, lawyers? You cannot really practice them without having a specific degree, right?
But for them also, the most required field will be the having the skill, right? Like as I have started with the quote, if degree opens the doors for you, then the skill is something which keeps the door open. So their major focus should be on the skill, right?
Yeah, but if you want to do certain surgery for you, would you prefer someone with degree or without degree?
I would prefer someone with with degree having skill. Like it is the
But
like you won't really call anybody doctor without that, right? Without the skill, without the degree.
yeah, so basically, if someone doesn't have in that particular field, if they don't have the degree, they won't be even like no one will even choose them, right? So what's the point of like if you are not even able to open the door, how will you go for that?
Okay. My one question to you is just a like answer to whatever you're saying. Just assume there is a doctor and he has degree and he has opened the door, but his past records are very bad, and like most of the patient who come to him do not survive or face some serious issues. Would you say that degree is enough to support him, or would you like favor on the basis of skills?
Mm. Again, that is actually true for not just limiting to doctor, but almost any field. If any person has like bad track record, then no one will even think of hire. hiring them or like taking them for the surgery. And I don't think that is limiting to the degree. If anyone has a bad track record or any unethical practices, then they are by default won't be taken care of.
So, are you agreeing to the fact that you should be more skillful? You should focus more on your skills?
But at least they got the opportunities to operate or do the practice the being a lawyer. But without the degree, they won't even have that opportunity, right? What will they do with just the skills?
What about fields like dancing, singing, cooking? Like for them, having no skill and having degree will not make sense, right?
Uh, yeah, but comparing, I'm not saying they are like secondary task or something, but like country like India, where most of the people are focusing on the major fields like engineering or medical field, I don't think that is very relevant. But again, if they uh, like for any gig kind of economy, if you have some credentials, then like both the people with the same skills, but someone having a degree and without a degree, anyone will prefer the later who is having the degree.
You have any questions?
I am good.
Okay, I would ask you a question. If there's any social worker who has good team management skills and good communication skills and get the work done, would you ask a degree to the person, or would you be favoring the person with the skills? Like if there's any person who is doing like in your locality also, if there's maybe punch and he's getting all the work done, getting all sewage treated, everything is he's doing properly, would you ask him about his degree anytime, or would you just favor like him as a person?
For that kind of job, degree is not really relevant. He is not working in the same field. That is a completely different, and it is more of an personal trait. And like as a person, he is doing a good job. And I don't think that having a degree or not having a degree in that case is even relevant uh, for that person because he's not working in the same field.
Feedback.
Yeah. Yes. Feedback.
I have some feedback for me. I don't really have any feedback for you, but I think you can chat. You start.
I honestly don't have any points as such.
uh, okay, I'll start with mine. First is about a little psychological effect that I had, and I think this is one of the thing which happens to me every time. Like if I go somewhere and if I see some people being prepared, I feel they are prepared more than me. Then somehow I can't really generate better points. I feel there's some bias. I feel that the other person will do something good. I'm not saying that you were little prepared for. I'm not saying in that manner, but I am saying that it is like a personal psychological issue that I'm having. Even when I go for hackathon, I feel that everyone will be prepared, they'll be doing something good, and there is little thing that keeps me like doesn't push me. So this is just a thing I wanted to say. And nextly, just I woke up and I wasn't able to generate much more points. The third thing I would say about the last quote I was having, like skill without degree without skill will not give you job, but a skill without degree might give you job. So that I just messed up something in that, and I was like, forget it. So yeah, these are some few feedbacks.
One of the good point which you could have mentioned, like which was very relevant also, is like many speaking only from the technical side. Like many tech jobs, even after having a degree, they hire them, but like they have to spend few months and resources for training them, right? So
uh,
like, what's the point if they are having the degree but they still have to train them? So
yeah,
it's like we are failing at certain field, right?
it is a
That would have been a very good point.
it is a good point. Yeah.
And
Do you have anything to add, or shall we do that thinking from other perspective? Because even I have some points for you.
yeah,
Do you have anything to add for feedback?
no, no.
Okay, we'll think from other perspective. Yes. Do you need more time, Ayush? Yes.
Yeah, so first point was about the same, about the training PSL example. I won't repeat it. And second will be instead of like second point is cost. Degrees are very much expensive, and if you prefer any other courses, they are much more cost effective. And also speaking from the company's point of view, they like don't have to hire someone having a degree and then train them. Instead, they can conduct various hackathons. It is much cheaper, and it could you can have it hackathons or case competition. Of course, you can hire gather someone much easier in a much cost effective way. Next will be about adaptable. Like in the fast changing world, a degree cannot really prepare you for everything. You need to like even at the current moment, we are not really sure what is going to be relevant in like 5 years or even next year. It may change very fast, and degree may not be able to. Degree won't suffice you in that. And last would be about instead of just having a very good looking CV, people companies can focus on portfolios. Like portfolio could be a little bit more difficult to manipulate, and CVs could be easily manipulated because you can get fake certification easily. But portfolio is possible, but I think it is like comparatively less possible than a CV.
Yes. Yeah, I mentioned about like really good points. I mentioned about financial burden, but I think I should have like stressed more on that,
Emphasis.
emphasized
Mm.
more on that. From your side, okay. Firstly, about is you don't like when you're studying, you don't really realize that is important for you, but you might realize it later. Like for
Mm.
example, doing maths. Like you don't realize having that cognitive skill is important when you're doing that degree, but later on you come to realize. So that's why degree is better. Secondly, I think you should have little emphasize more on the offline part, like all the perks that you get. Like you go to the college, you can meet the professors, then there are people around you, then they conduct workshops. Like it is responsibility of the degree, like college, to handle everything, like to bring more industry insights and all. So I think you should have focused more on offline part. Third is like I started like you should have little emphasis on 10th and 12th basic degree, which is necessary. Like every
13.
10th and 12th. uh, Fourth is about when you do skills, you mostly don't go in like a little, having a little historic understanding is also very needed. Like for example, currently in the OS there's just multi-programming operating systems, but knowing about uni-programming, why there was need for multi-programming, that whole structure is very much important, if even for your like thoughtful process, that I feel. Fifth is about PhD and research. Like if skill is focusing more on job, then PhD and research programs which requires a degree will focus more on creating new opportunities and like advancing the research. And lastly, I would say okay, and in job sometimes you need to, like if you have a skills of JavaScript, but in degree you might have skills of OS also, JavaScript also. You have much more understanding that some.
Holistic understanding.
Pardon?
Holistic understanding.
Holistic understanding. So whenever you have to job switch, or whenever you have to like adapt to a different environment, it becomes better for you when you know something, like have a good holistic environment. So these are some strong points why I feel you should have said.
Indeed.
Indeed. Okay, group discussion. Before going on the formal group, the other group discussion that we planned, like what do you think, degree is necessary or skills are necessary?
If only skills are necessary, then people would have completely switched, even forgotten the degrees. The matter of fact that degrees are everyone is still preferring degrees. I feel like degrees are still going to stay for like at least many more years now. Can't really say how much, but I believe degrees are still important. But without skills, there is you could be easily replaced.
Yes. Mm, I don't have really anything to add. Even I feel degree is very important, and yeah, just you have to be aware that when you're doing degree, that the whatever skills you're gathering should be like the major focus rather than completing the degree.
I feedback I want to give you
Yeah.
like when we are doing discussion, like don't stop with just one statement. It feels like you lack knowledge
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in any discussion, not just here.
Uh-huh.
Like give some justification to it. Like even though I spoke first, like try to add something new, even though it's the same point.
Yeah. It's a good feedback. Like, I'll keep in mind later. Or shall I reframe it right now? Okay, I
Yeah,
really feel that degree is very much necessary as compared to skills, because be- because yes, it opens up many opportunities for you, and like it you gather a lot of like whatever points we have mentioned, like you gather more of the opportunities. And but you should be very mindful that every it is not just about completing the degree, but it is about gathering the skills within the degree.
very good. Yeah, this is actually very important when you are doing like during my formal group discussions.
Uh-huh.
Most of the time, the point like initially when you think you like write few points, but when the people start speaking, someone usually speaks earlier than you unless you do the introduction, and it's highly likely that whatever points you have written, they already covered it. So
Uh-huh.
like you should have that skill set to either add on a completely fresh point or a fresh perspective, or at least try to summarize the whole thing.
Summarize the whole thing.
Or just like paraphrasing is I won't really suggest, but still you could give some reasoning and not just finish with one statement.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes. What would
Otherwise, we can't
you
really
have
call it
said
group discussion.
like you had I had stated the same thing that you had said, like while doing the group discussion.
Uh, like as if you spoke first and I am speaking now. You
Yes,
are
yes,
saying like
yes,
that.
yes, yes. And I spoke the exact same thing that you spoke.
Okay, Uno reverse. It caught me a little off guard, but I will try.
Nice use of phrase.
Uh, yeah, I do agree with Keman that skill sets are more important than degrees, and I believe that degrees will. Sorry,
Degrees are more.
I do agree with Keman that in today's world, degrees are relevant, but even though skills are more important, but degrees gives you certain perks that a skill set itself won't give you. So I think a combination of both would be even better. But having a degree is kind of necessary in today's world, and in the fast changing world, we need to have a degree because it gives you a holistic understanding of everything. And even if you change your field, even though usually in the degrees you have major and minor subjects, and even though if your interest changes, then you can still rely on your minor or other subjects, and you can have a better understanding.
Very well said. Very well said. Izzat bachali. Just kidding. Okay. So next week is usually ChatGPT phase, but we had a question in my mind from a long time, that what changes shall be there in the degree or the education system right now,
Education system.
and shall we address that first? Like, shall we take 1 or 2
Yeah,
minutes?
I think we can skip the chat GPT as we are already going to do it during the case completion.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So we'll take 2 minutes to think on like what improvement should be there.
Education system. Yeah. Let's try to do it like a proper group discussion. Like try to introduce at the end we will conclude, and like very professional type of setting.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Forget everything about the previous debate now. Everything will be fresh right now.
Okay, okay, okay. Just before we proceed, I want a little idea of what the group discussion is like. How is it conducted?
I have told you this like at least few times by now, but okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Usually there are more people, not just two. I have never been in the like a group discussion of two people. One usually what we can do now is both will do one introduction, and whoever introduces first is usually given a better weightage. You cannot really disagree with someone. Take minute. is you cannot really disagree with someone directly. You like counter the point in a polite way, and don't repeat anything which other has already mentioned, as I just mentioned earlier. And even if you have contradicting point, try to do it in a better way. And it's just adding on to others' points and like having a discussion, not a debate. We can agree or both disagree on something.
Yes.
But if you are having an opposing view, but just be respectful. That's it. And at the end, conclude with some kind of actionable step.
Yes, I think very well said. Just one doubt I had is about the structure. Is it going to be like you say first whatever you know, then I say, or is it like mutual understanding? You say something, I say, you say, I say, you say.
Uh, the group discussion which I have attended is like more competitive in nature because we have to get shortlisted. So whoever speaks first has given. If you are speaking relevant stuff, then it is a plus point from your side. So let's try to do it here also. Like we will like try to be little competitive, but we shouldn't cut anyone's point at any time.
Okay, okay,
And in usually in the group debates where there are more than two people, some people like while speaking get stuck onto certain points and like they pause for a little longer than expected. So usually at the dead time you should get in your point, and like because there is a time limit for group discussion usually, so that's why they have to do it, but still they have to do it in a professional way, not like cutting. You shouldn't seem like you're cutting someone basically.
yeah. This was a major doubt that I had, like how to just start. Okay, yeah. I think we are good with
Yeah.
the format, and that's I did. The
So just summarizing, the format will be first introduction from both sides.
mm,
Usually this depends on from what type of group discussion, but today we'll introduce from both sides. Anyone will start. Then we will put our points, but not necessarily opposing point, either in the same way or heading on to. And at the end we will conclude. Both of us will conclude. Whatever only what in the conclusion, try not to add anything new. Just whatever we have discussed, try to summarize it in crisp format.
and the topic for the group discussion is what changes shall be there in the education system or the degree right now, right?
Yes, how can education system be improved? Also, let's try to stick takes exactly 2 minutes for the thinking part, and let's say we are two people, so around 6 to 8 minutes for the discussion.
Hmm.
We will start at 1 3, whatever time plus two you do on
Okay.
your screen.
Yes.
Yeah, ready?
Mm, 2 minutes are
Three,
quite less, but yeah, it's fine.
three, two, one. Start.
Hello, we are gathered to have a group discussion, and the topic that we have is how to improve the education steps that we can take to improve the education system. And one basic thing which I have in my mind is like firstly addressing the education system till 10th, and then addressing the education system after that, which is like career specific. So under 10th, I have like few points. One is about the education system before 10th should be like more focused onto health or yoga or finance, or we I never learned something called as like recycling things, like recycling or waste management. That is a very important skill to have in, like before 10, like you have a surplus of time, knowing more about the history of the land, like of India itself, rather than knowing about other countries, and having and one another thing I would like to say about the is having good examinations for the faculties also. Like along with the students, faculty should also have exams so that they are also updated, and they do not have any outdated knowledge. Aish, do you want to add anything in the 10th part?
Yes, sure. So you very well structured it like initially for the pre-10th or then your graduation. So for during your 10th standard or earlier age or earlier standards, I think we should also add something which will adapt the students for like knowing what are the other fields are like post their 11th and 12th, because even though we know the fields are science, commerce, and arts, but people don't really understand it that all the three subjects are equally important, and we usually think that someone who got higher marks should usually take science, which should be it's actually wrong, and we should increase the awareness in it. And maybe we can educate the parents first or and before the students that all the three streams are equally important, and we should focus more on the vocational type of knowledge and more practical knowledge.
Uh, would you like to speak on the careers perspective?
uh, Yeah, so speaking from the further part for the graduation usually or the post 11 12, by this time students have usually they chosen their specialization, and there are certain issues which I believe are currently not being done so properly. So first is the curriculum is kind of not relevant to the today's field, and we should adapt and add the more subjects which are more up to date. We should introduce a special subject from early on only, like AI or AIML, or like anything which is related to Gen AI or etc. And if we focus on them, then people will understand what is really relevant in the industry, and they can choose their specialization more like in depth, or they can figure out their niche early on so that they can be better equipped with their skills. Yeah.
Yes, very well said, Ayush. To add on to that, firstly, I would say it is very like the career specific is very like crucial part to, because you have to get entry to the industry, right? So I think at this stage also having good examination for the faculty is very much necessary, because sometimes faculty just learn some outdated stuff and the old thing, which is more prominent in the later after 11 stage. So yeah, that is my first point. And the next thing I think faculties should have like they should not take a very big gap. Like sometimes a subject could be also covered in like 1 to 2 weeks. So I think the curriculum should be like a crash course kind of thing, like having a week for AI, just AI, so that people student does not go home. And like what happens is when we have a mix of the timetable, AI in the morning, or like AI after, then OS, then maybe some other subject, when there's mix of the timetable, and if student is absent a day, like the next day when he comes, he has to also remember some stuff of previous day. So there's more load on the student to remember everything, and in that process what happens, student feels that he's not ready, and he does not even listen to faculty very well. So there is a wide gap. So one thing I would really suggest to the education system right now, at least for the industry specific stage, is they should have a crash course based learning, teaching, which is like have 1 to 3 days specific, which is for just one subject, and like full day or whatever, however it is, that should be inculcated. And once the subject is over, that time the focus should be made more on the projects and practical based learning, or getting the student to use the learning so that there's some significant outcome from that. So this is one thing that I have had in my mind, and I think it would really help to focus student more on the practical based learning rather than theoretical, because theoretical is almost complete within 1 or 2 weeks. So yeah, that is what I have
Yeah,
to add.
adding on to the faculty's point, like faculties could also use better technologies to teach the students, and there should be some arrangement to whatever it's done in the class, either in the note format or the video format, should be provided to the student. Even in the case if they have missed certain lectures, they can still revisit them and can go through them much easier way. And I think faculty should also tell the students like certain concepts why they are important and why they are more relevant in the field. Like most of the time students are not really sure why they have to study subjects like in particularly in maths integration or differentiation. If we can teach them these subjects are important to like find a maximum value, or like how can in the corporate world how could the production be maximized or some cost could be minimized, we can use derivatives for them. So if we this is just one example, but if we uh, teach the student like why the particular subject is important, then I think we can develop better interest in student to learn that part.
Yes. Yeah, and just that a thing that we forgot is entire throughout the time there should be more focus on the given on the communication part, teamwork part, and like time management part, because those are some skills which will help you like in any career perspective. Do you have anything to add, Ayush?
Mm. Yeah, the soft skills should be definitely given more focus, not just the hard skill, because in the interviews most students face the issue of communication skills. Even though they are knowledgeable, they are not able to communicate well, and therefore not able to perform better in the interviews. So in the early on, like the fundamental stage before 10th, there should be some kind of communication classes, or at least encourage students to speak in the public, or give some speeches or do some kind of debate activities where they can improve their communication skills. And again, most students face the issue that they are not really comfortable, or they feel they are introvert, and that's why they are not mm, able to handle speak in front of the crowd. In that scenario we can have a like a team debate where only the certain teams can record their meet maybe, and within only the 10 students or within just 5 students. And over time we can increase that, or maybe starting at the debate and uh, then to a larger crowd. So I think that will help the student to better prepare.
Very well said, Ayush. Just to add on to that, even another thing that came to my mind right now is when at the early stage there should be different competitions of diverse level, like something maybe on computer, something maybe on dancing, singing, like different levels, so that student understands that there is field other than engineering and medical. Like they at least from the starting stage, students should be like aware. Yeah, that's it.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
I think we had a healthy discussion. And hello,
Yeah, yeah, you're audible.
hello.
Hello, you're audible. Hello, hello. Yes, yes, you're audible.
You're stuck for me. Am I audible?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, you are audible, but not visible. I think it's fine. We can continue.
Yeah,
Uh, I think we had a pretty good discussion, and I think we covered almost all the possibilities. And like to conclude from my side, I think first we should have a more redefining the structure curriculum, and uh, focus on what is more relevant. And next we should focus on the soft skills also, like communication, debate skills, or like time management skills. If we improve on that, even then the it will uh, help the students not just having the hard skill but also the soft skill, which will better prepare them for the future. And lastly, we discuss also on educating the faculties and having them better equipped with the recent technologies and whatever the new inventions going on, so that faculties are more aware and can develop a better interest in student. Also, they can tell the students why the particular subject is important and how it is relevant in the current field, so that the student will have a better understanding.
Yes. To conclude, to add on to the conclusion, I would say that there should be like below 10th there should be better subjects added like yoga, health, finance, recycling, waste management, which is the need of the hour, and like the younger minds are the like good to train for that, and having some civic sense, and faculty should later on faculty should be trained and faculty should be also examined so that they are not outdated and they are up to the like level, and yeah, that is what we have discussed, and it was a very healthy discussion on the topic.
Yes,
Yes.
the end.
The end feedback.
Okay, like feedback.
Yes, feedback. I have so many
Uh,
written.
oh, nice. Usually in the like group discussion, you don't really allow to like you shouldn't speak for too long, but also you shouldn't give others chance directly as such. Like you
Mm.
ask me if I have certain things to add. You should like either do the basic introduction and like I want to discuss certain points like one, two, three, four, and just state it in like one line, and then you can say like add on. You just stopped after your pre-10th and then ask for the discussion. Uh, that was fine, but a better way could be like either you could have just briefly mentioned your points, like what is the scope of the discussion. Like that will show that you have some kind of leadership skills and you are setting the tone for the debate, for the discussion. That would have been better, and then I could have added my points, and then we could have gone one point one by one. So that would have
No,
been slightly better.
I didn't get you. I didn't get you the.
Okay, okay. Uh, So what happens in debates usually? There are two kinds of introduction. So like either the evaluator just asks you to start, and any one person starts, and the discussion goes on. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yes, I'm with you.
And the second kind of group discussion is everyone asked to introduce the topic, and then they can proceed with their points.
Huh.
So our motto was to do that kind of like both will do the introduction. But
Mhm.
what you did was like you did your introduction, you mentioned your first point, and then asked me to if you asked me if I want to add something on that. So
Okay, okay.
you like since this was discussed already, like everyone will get the chance to introduction. You didn't allow me to introduce
Uh,
my point of view,
uh,
and you like asked me to add on to your point directly. It wasn't bad per se, but as we had already discussed the format, that's why it wasn't so good.
uh, 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 uh. So
Uh,
our format was
next will be
two introductions. I thought like anybody could introduce. Okay, I did not get it. I'll introduce, then you'll introduce, and then we'll speak. I did not get that structure.
okay. So maybe I should have made it more clear. But still, even if only one person introduce you shouldn't ask the other person to add on to your points. It's like
Oh,
you are like slightly toxic kind of leadership.
yes. It really it.
I have never seen this in like any discussions.
Yes, totally
Like
agree.
you
Like
ask other person to add on to your points,
yes. I totally agree. Totally agree.
but it's still fine because you like never part of any formal discussions.
Yes, yes.
Uh, I allowed you to start because I wanted you to do the intro. That's why I didn't spoke at the start. At the start, when you mentioned the topic, there you started a bit on the topic. Like at least we should have written it down so we don't stutter. But
Mm-hmm.
at least while introducing the topic, it should be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like we started, how can education system be improved? But instead of improved, you like paraphrase and start choose the different title.
Yes.
Again, it's also not very clear here, but don't stutter at the introduction because it sets the mood very in the
Bad.
bad way.
Yes.
Next, I actually like the structure. Like you structured it in the pre-10th and post-10th education. It was a good thing. I feel you next will be you repeated the faculty point a little bit more.
In
It
10th and
wasn't that
12th also, I think it was intentional for me. Like it is like I wanted to focus that this is for both the sides it is necessary.
it felt kind of redundant, I
Uh-huh.
feel.
Uh-huh.
This is again open to the evaluator, but I feel it was more redundant and you are not bringing more points to
Uh-huh.
the table.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh, for you, I really liked like how you acknowledged that having the structure was good, and then you added onto that. I like that. For my side, I think I was speaking a little faster today because we mentioned that this there will be time limit. So I was just worried. I was just doing it fast, fast, fast. I did not even elaborate any point. And third thing that I really like about you is you take one point and you elaborate it very nicely, and that is a good thing. And we both do this. We say yeah very quite often.
Mm.
Just change it to yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and all the next points, all the points which I have is like some of the points are redundant, like stuttering at the introduction.
Mm. Overall, it was pretty good. And also, one more point which I forgot to mention, like usually in the in the discussions, you shouldn't be speaking for too long. You should allow everyone to participate. If you are, if otherwise it seems like you are a know-it-all and not giving others to speak. But don't like mention it explicitly. Like, do you have want anything to add on this? Like pointing to certain people,
Mhm.
unless they are. It is a good activity. Like I will give an example. What happened during one of my debate on one of my discussion. So there was like around 8 people, and one guy was not speaking, one or two guy was not really speaking, and everyone got a chance to speak. So one person just wanted pointed out to him, do you want to add? In that scenario it was fine because you are trying to include everyone. Otherwise only the 4 people were like in the loop discussion, and the dead guy was not speaking. Here we are only two, so that was not really required.
Mhm. Uh,
You shouldn't like explicitly mention someone to speak.
yes, yes, I do agree to you. One thing about the, I totally agree. It is very toxic. Like it shows that you consider yourself as superior. I have this point, you won't have any points, and just add on to mine. That is very toxic. And like I realize it later now. But I would ask you how the transitions should be. Like, how do you mutually understand that I stop? Like it seems like I stop because I don't have any more knowledge. So it is again
Yeah.
backstabbing me, right?
Yeah, that is actually a very valid point. To be honest, there is no proper like understanding when you should go ahead. It's just seeing the tension in the room and like getting the opportunity to speak, because you will get only 2 or 3 entries at max, 1 to 3 entries at max, depending on the size and the time. Usually, it's around 2 or 3.
Okay, okay.
And even if you get more entries, it feel very redundant, and you shouldn't like speak for very little time. So how you should understand is uh, either when the person is getting stuck at certain points, then you should add on very politely, like very well said, Kiman, adding on to your point and then going on to your point, or like very well said, Kiman, but considering the other point of view, I would also like to add, and then adding your point if you have a contrary point. Like usually there is no mutual understanding between the students, at least in this interview debates, because it's very competitive and you have to outperform others to get shortlisted. Here it was more friendly.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so best way to continue is like be very attentive and listen to whatever he is speaking. And like whenever he takes a pause, or usually he indicates like this is my end, you should like read the room and try to add your point.
Okay, okay.
But most of the time 2 or 3 people speak together, and you should have a mutual understanding, or like try to overcome your point. If the
Okay.
person is too nice, then they usually keep quiet, which is actually not good. And I feel you are like kind of that person. If we were like 4 or 5 people, you will allow the other person to speak.
Uh.
Do you agree?
Um, I think so.
Like, so I will give you a situation.
Uh-huh.
Let's say there are 5 of us speaking. I introduced the topic, and the guy next to me spoke. Let's say I introduced the topic, and I stop speaking, and there are like you and another guy
Mm-hmm.
trying to speak at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you both started talking at the same time, and that time there will be a pause because you don't know who is going to speak. What
Uh,
will you do in that scenario?
I'll wait for them to finish.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
I know.
yes.
But it is actually a good thing, but it seems it showcases that you are a very polite person and very like listens to other. But the problem what happens in the competitive environment, when that guy is done speaking, the other guy will directly start speaking
Mm-hmm.
most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there is high chances that whatever you wanted to say, that these 3 guys has already conveyed,
Mm.
and now it's your turn to speak, because usually you will get now to speak because the other three have already spoken, and they expect the other remaining two to speak. And most of the time they have already covered the good points, and you are left with very few points.
Few
So
points.
a good practice is to, if there is a clash, what I used to do, I used to like speak directly and not wait for the next person to speak,
Uh,
because otherwise you don't get the chance to speak.
uh.
If it is a competitive, then it's a good thing, but if it's not very friendly discussion, then you should allow others to speak.
Yes, yes. Totally agree. Totally agree.
I hope that was actually a good point.
Yes,
It's
yes,
very relevant during the debates.
yes, yes. I will.
It also depends from students. Like some students are like very competitive and like bit shows some kind of aggression, and the discussion goes very haywire, and
Hmm.
like it's a fish market most of the time. But if the
Is
students
it?
are polite, then it's a very healthy discussion.
Yes. I think I'll just check on one, at least one video on YouTube, like how exactly the situation is in the room. Like I have no,
Yeah.
like no imagination, like no picture in my mind at how it happens. Like only that thing. Otherwise, very good pointers, like you mentioned.
Yeah, check the like any MBA mock GD search, you will get
Okay,
many.
okay, okay,
Like if you search normal group discussion, it might be little different structure or a little bit different. So all my points are from the interview point of view. So if you are sticking to the same thing, you can check any MBA mock GDs and you will get.
okay, okay. Yes, adding, going back to the points that we had. Do you have anything to say?
From the group discussion point of view, yeah, uh, like our solutions was not really that clear. I feel at least in the at least while concluding, we should have stated like it was a healthy discussion. And to conclude, I have three main points: one, two, three. Like one will be educating the teachers. Second will be like restructuring the curriculum and focusing on more. Third point will be if you conclude in that way, it gives you a better picture. Like you conclude the discussion in a better way. It
Hmm.
feels like you have some actions you can take on.
Yes,
Even I didn't do it. I forgot, but
yes,
you could have done it better way.
yes, yes. Conclusion part is a good point. Yeah, and do you think
So
we should have been more like specific of how the entry should be? Like, if I say there should be waste management in the school, like something more like how the entry would be like. Maybe in the first, second standard, there could be something of understanding, or is it too much to speak for a group discussion?
I think it is a bit too much. Waste management all is not directly relevant to it, right? So at least it shouldn't be your first point at least.
Uh-huh.
And while entering, either you should like if there are four or five people, you should if there is certain points which are like very similar, then you can add on directly, like whenever he's done speaking. And if it is like completely new point, then you can add it anytime.
Yes. Okay. I think we are good to go. We'll just have we had a good debate and a first good GD. We'll just take maybe 2 minutes to go on ChatGPT and just have some pointers like whatever uh, for both the things. Okay, GD and debate.
Let's not do it for the debate. Let's only do it for group discussion.
Okay,
Because for the debate one, we will do it again, so it
okay,
feels a
okay,
little bit redundant.
okay. Yeah, do you have anything to add, Ayush?
No, not too many points. Like one good point we could have added is like having a multi-language based education, at least in the fundamental years. So every student can feel included and they can get I understand the topic in a better way. And next will be having more persons from industry speaking whatever skills which are relevant, not just the teachers, but either alumni or any industry experts could give some enlighten the students. Yeah.
I have just one point that we kind of didn't mention is about career guidance. There should be good career guidance at every 10th, before 10th also and after 10th also.
But that is not really giving a solution to how we can improve the education system, right? Okay, like from the education only, we are providing the counselors, not
Yes,
particularly the student.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Ayush. I think we are good for
Yes.
today. It was a nice discussion. Okay,
Yes.
yes.
Bye
See
bye.
you at maybe after 1 hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye. I'll stop the share.